What underground station did you take shelter in? Which one?
What underground station?
Notting Hill Gate.
Notting Hill Gate.
Right.
We used to go
Road
down
wasn't
the
underground.
air raid shelter to keep bombs away. We had little presents with us. We had colouring books and crayons and that sort of stuff. But my mum used to say when we came back, they probably had that from a rich uncle or a rich, because she couldn't afford to buy it. My dad was in the army and he didn't come home that often.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever my dad used to give my mum was not very much. You go down the area shelters with all these kids with their big dolls and their umbrellas and all sorts. So you noticed how poor you was when you got into a mixed company like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad.
No, it's a strange thing that you tend to accept things for what they are. I remember we used to walk up Kensal Road in an air raid. There was a pie and mash shop, Great Western Road, which was right down the other end of, from starting from the Labatt Grove end.
Yeah.
If you walked the length of Kensal Road, which at that time went right the way through to Great Western Road, there was a pie and mash shop. And we used to walk the length of Kensal Road, which I would guesstimate is about 3/4 of a mile to a mile long. In the middle of an air raid, we had tin hats on, true, but as we were walking up the road, there was bits of shrapnel from the shells that the guns used to fire up at the aircraft, the enemy aircraft, and of course the shells burst, and if they were lucky, they were very, very lucky, they burst near enough to an aircraft to damage it and bring it down. But other than that, the shell just burst in mid-air, and all the metal parts of the shells came down as shrapnel, as they called it. And we walked the length of Kensal Road and didn't think anything about these pinging sounds as we were walking along. You ping, ping, ping. And it was these bits of shrapnel coming down from the sky. I mean, if one of them had hit you, say, even on the tin hat we had on, it would have killed you.
Even on with the tin hat?
Yeah, at least they weren't that thick. Those tin hats were very, very thin steel. They were only about 1/16 of an inch thick.
Across the skull.
They were designed to protect you in blast or anything like that. But there's certainly, if you got a bit of shrapnel, say bigger than a marble, they would have killed you and gone straight through the tin hat and killed you. Yet we thought nothing of the fact that we were walking along and we took no notice of the ping, ping. We knew what they were, but it was part of life. And you come to accept, and this is what happens through life. You find kids in poor countries. They've got nothing. And usually they're starving anyway. But they tend to adapt and they still find things to laugh at, things to enjoy. Not quite sure what I'm trying to say here is, but whatever part of life you look at, it's a different part to other parts that you know.
Yeah.
I mean, am I happier now than I was during the war as a kid? I don't know.
But do you remember if you were at the pictures and there was an air raid, they used to put it up on the screen, an air raid has just been run. If you people in the cinema want to go out, it would keep the back doors
film
open.
would continue.
Yeah, the film will continue. But if anybody wanted to go, they'd open the back doors to let you out in bigger blocks.
What about the poor little people that were running the film? Didn't they have a choice?
Well, I don't know really. I suppose not.
Well, a lot of people like that consider it part of their so-called duty to remain on duty. It would be like doctors and nurses in a hospital.
It's a bit different, doctors and nurses and policemen, to a man running a cinema film.
Well, it was still part of your duty, Lise. I used to work in an aircraft factory, and there was a roster whereby you did what they call fire watch, where you were stationed on the roof watching out for incendiary bombs coming down on the factory onto the roof, and there were sandbags that you could bung onto the incendiary thing. And it was just part of your life, you know. You didn't think there was anything strange about it, because everybody was in the same boat. Much the same as I would imagine in the 1418 war, there were some horrific times. I mean, obviously I don't know anything about them, but having read of it and had a father that was in the midst of it, I heard so many stories about the horrific things that happened, but they accepted it because it was part of what they were doing. Your country needs you, the Lord Kitchener poster. And all these poor little sods of youngsters volunteered, you know. God, doesn't bear thinking about.
Don't go down that road, it makes your dad unhappy. All those young men, like their son would have been, being called up to go in the army. It was terrible, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it made the young men feel gallant when they joined up.
Yeah, but the sad thing is when you look at the realistic side of it, I mean, the Lord Kitchener finger pointing, your country needs you. Where was Lord Kitchener when all this was going on?
Pointing his finger at
He wasn't up in the trenches. No, I mean, all the... There was the Prince of Wales, who later became Edward VIII. He was about the right age to go in the army.
You're laughing so much.
That was
You know, it's funny.
Sorry, Frank.
Now, so with King George VI, there were all these people, part of the royal family. How many of them served in the trenches?
Don't know.
Your country needs you. It didn't need them, did it?
No.
Let the other poor little sods go.